We're live. I'm trying out a new webcam today, and my screen is like way down here, and the webcam is way up here. So I might get a little distracted and look like I'm looking at my feet, but I'm gonna do my best. Um, so we're here today talking about letting go of other people's judgment. And so I get a lot of questions about boundaries in with my clients for the entire month of May. And I think boundaries are a great topic. And that is, it kind of like judgment of other people kind of leads into that, right? So when I talk about how do I let go of others' judgment, it might be the judgment that I'm feeling from another at the park when I yell at my kids. Or it might be the judgment that I feel when a mom whose kids are maybe grown and they say, "Oh, this isn't going to last forever. Make sure you cherish every moment." And I'm like, I'm not cherishing every moment. So I kind of feel like shit right now. Um, and I'm also talking about the judgment of our partners. If you have a partner and you find yourself really down and in the dumps, maybe, or you're just not parenting in the way that you want to parent. And then you feel like your partner is being critical of you. And it's like, I'm already dealing with all this. Like, do I really need to deal with your judgment too? So, I want to talk today about letting go of the judgment of other people. And so if you're dealing with that, please comment and let me know your situation. And I'm sure that if you have that situation, another mom does too. And this is how we support each other and lift each other up. So let me know, what is your situation with feeling judged, and how can we support each other in that? So I'll start with a story from my own life. There was a time when I've shared about this publicly before, that motherhood felt so hard. And I love my kids. I loved them. I love them now. And I just felt like I wasn't the mom for them. I wasn't cut out to do this. And I would look around at all of the other moms, and it felt like when I said this was hard, it was like not well received by other people, and nobody seemed to know what I was talking about. And it felt like this taboo subject where it's like, oh no, we're cherishing every moment over here. And, a lot of people worked really hard, and, you know, infertility is such a big thing. So I felt really guilty. And like my own sister struggled with infertility for years. And so for me to say, man, this is really hard, and I don't regret having children in this moment. But even if I did regret it, I don't feel like I can say it, because there will most likely come a point when you're like, if I didn't have kids, I could be out doing whatever I wanted right now. And that dreaming never felt okay. It never felt allowed. And so I remember at one point, my partner would try to protect my sleep and let me sleep in, because he knew that I was struggling and having a really hard time. And he was like, okay, you need more sleep. And if you have more sleep, that'll be good. And so we got into this really bad pattern that if I came out of the room after sleeping and I wasn't like bubbly and happy, or like clearly well rested, then he would have a reaction to that. And his reaction was frustration and annoyance. And just like, I like worked to keep these kids quiet so that you could get extra sleep, or I took them to the park so that you could get, like, I did stuff that like I didn't really, it wasn't easy to get to that extra sleep, and you're still not rested. And it was so frustrating to him. And I felt like shit too. And it was just this weird, awful, feeling because he felt like if he's putting effort in to get me rested, I need to be rested because if I'm well rested, then I'm better able to be present with the kids. I'm less likely to lose my temper. And I am just, things go better when I'm well rested. And so I tell you that story to say that, like, I know what it's like to feel like you're being judged and to actually be judged. Sometimes we feel like we're being judged and we're not really being judged. I feel like a lot of times we sense judgment from other people when it's not there, but there's also a lot of time that the judgment really is there. And I'll tell you something that someone told me that has stuck with me, and I go back to this all the time. And I believe it to be true, and I live by it. Someone else's opinion of me is none of my business. Someone else's opinion of me is none of my business. That may sound crazy, especially if you have a partner, to think their opinion of me is really none of my business. And it's not. So now that I spent years like getting to the life that I want, right? Which like is why I'm here with you guys and sharing all of this so that it doesn't take you years, right? Because I want you to get there now. Um, those were some really hard years. And so in that moment, what was happening was my partner felt responsible for me getting sleep. He was very attached to the outcome of my rest. He was doing something for me to try to help me, and he was incredibly attached to the outcome. He needed it to be a good outcome for him to be okay. And so he wasn't giving freely, right? Because if he's giving freely, if I get rest, great. If I don't, not great. So it was really hard for me at that time in my life to verbalize and communicate that to him. Since that, where I am today, what I would say is, look, I really appreciate the effort that you made. And I don't want you to bend over backwards and go above and beyond if it's if it's too much for you. I want you to give freely. And like, you are not responsible for my sleep. You are not responsible for that because I know that you're worried about me yelling at the kids because there was never any conflict in your house, and that's yours, okay? Those are your issues. And I'm telling you that our kids are going to be fine. Like, I'm working on this. I don't want to yell at them either, but you can't control me. You can't control me. And all of this that he was feeling was coming from a place of love. It was coming from a place of care. And I harp on, I'm expanding this example so much because I feel like random strangers on the street, it's a lot easier to ignore their judgment. But when people that we love and the people that we feel love us are judging us, it's really hard to untangle that. So he is not responsible for my sleep. He's not responsible for making sure that I don't yell at the kids. I'm responsible for that, not him. He's responsible for protecting his children, right? But like, me losing my temper and then coming back and repairing that relationship is something that I need to do. And so, what really he could have done is said, I don't feel like the kids, if he didn't feel like the kids were safe, he could say, I don't feel like the kids are safe. Um, he could have a conversation with me about that. And he can put that on me and encourage me in that way. But that's not what was happening. So, I'm getting a little sidetracked in my brain right now because I'm thinking about a bunch of different things. So he is not responsible for my sleep. he's not responsible and he can't control me. That's the other thing is he can't really control me. And he needs to be attached dis disattached is not a word. Unattached. He does not need to be attached to the outcome of my sleep. And so I think when we feel this judgment from other people, usually there's a fear underneath of that judgment. And if we can look at the mom at the park that seems to have it all together and gives us a sideways glance when our kid is yelling, I think that one for me is a lot easier to be like, roll my eyes and just move on and be like, okay, you want to pretend like you never have any trouble in parenting. That's fine. You go ahead and pretend that. I'm not going to pretend that. That's your issue because what she is probably afraid of is if I acknowledge that that could be me, then maybe I'm not good enough because I have an idea that a mom should never yell at her kid. And I can't look at myself and acknowledge my reality because that would make me feel bad. And so I have to judge you as less than me so that I don't feel bad about myself. None of that is about me, right? None of that is about me. That's about her. Okay. That's hers. That's not mine. So, boom, not about me. Someone else's opinion of me, none of my business, because that's about her. So the trickier one with someone that we care about, a partner, your own parent, a friend that you admire. Um, so your partner, you can have these conversations in a loving way. And you can say, I recognize that it's hard for you when I'm having a hard time. I know that my mood and my behavior impacts you because we're in a relationship. And you can't control me. I don't need the pressure, the additional pressure of trying to fit into something that you want me to be. It is okay for me to be sad. It is okay for me to get angry. If there is a behavior that you are concerned about, that you think is unsafe for our children, let's talk about that. But you have no say in my mood, my personality, my thoughts. This is mine. And if you are afraid of something, I want to talk about that because I am in a relationship with you and I care about you. So maybe you have a partner that judges you when you're sad. Maybe your partner's own mother was depressed. Maybe they're worried about that because it impacted them as a child. And they're like, I don't want that to happen to our kids. That's something where you can talk and you can share and you can both be open and vulnerable and connect. But you can lay down the boundary that, like, I am not going to tolerate being judged for how I feel. Like, this is how I feel. I can't control it. If you have a concern about my behavior or about the safety of our kids or something like that, please tell me. And then you have that conversation. But recognize that if someone is judging you, there is something inside of them that they are not right with, or they are responding. Your actions or your mood or something that you're giving off is activating the thing in someone else. And the thing that it is activating in them is not yours, it is theirs. Okay? Not yours. You have a hula hoop, they have a hula hoop. Your actions, your mood, all about you is in your hula hoop. What you, your actions, mood, etc., whatever that activates in someone else is their hula hoop. Being in a relationship with someone, there's an acknowledgement that you impact each other, you can affect each other, but you don't need to take on the responsibility of their whatever is being activated there, their thoughts, their feelings, their emotional hurt, their childhood trauma. You don't need to take that on to yourself. You stay in your hula hoop. So, what I encourage you to do when you're feeling this judgment from other people, when you're feeling like, gosh, I wish they would just give me a break, is take some time to just be with yourself and give yourself a break. Because the other thing is that if someone if someone looks at me and they say, "Your eyes are disgusting. You have terrible eyes." I'm like, no, I don't, weirdo. I love my eyes. I am very confident that I have great eyes. I bet you can't see them because we're on a grainy screen. But I love my eyes. I am very confident in my eyes. Somebody tells me that they don't like my eyes, I'm like, oh, whatever, weirdo, because my eyes are amazing. It's the same with parenting. Now, I'll tell you this, if someone tells me, I think you yell at your kids too much, I'm going to need to take a minute on that one because I already judge myself for that. Already. The judgment is there inside of me. What they have said activated my self judgment, my own critical self talk. And so that's another thing to recognize. It's like if everyone else would just stop judging me, I'd be fine. No, you wouldn't, because their judgment of you is not yours. Their judgment of you or your perceived judgment is activating something inside you. So it's not about them, it's about you. And if you are confident, if you know for a fact that you are awesome, what is it about you? Do you have like great nails? Like, I don't have great nails. My sister has great nails. And she used to get out of washing the dishes when we were growing up because she said it would mess up her nails. And I always blame that now, today. I still blame her for my terrible nails. Like, I had to do all the dishes growing up. So, whatever you are supremely confident about, notice that. Notice how it feels different when someone judges you for something that you're super confident about versus something that you're already a little tender about. And it's okay to let people that we're in a relationship with know, like, hey, I realize that this is just bringing up something that I'm already insecure about, but it would really mean a lot to me if you could be more gentle with what you're giving to me because I'm really sensitive about this. And so that's an acknowledgement that this is mine, not yours, and this is how you can support me in that way. So if you have judgment of yourself, what is it that gets you? When I say drop a comment below and let me know how you feel judged, I'm asking you, how are you judging yourself? Because it's the same thing. If you feel judged by someone else, you are already judging yourself. So bring a little love into that conversation, compassion into that mix. Would you say those things to a friend? Most of us would slap somebody that said half the stuff that we say to ourselves. If someone said those things to a friend, we would probably be ready to fight. Like, about to get real country on y'all. but we say it to ourselves all the time. So, what I want you to focus on is there there's a few things here. Boundaries with people we're in a relationship with. I can't handle being judged about this right now. That is not mine. Having a conversation about, like, let's talk about what your concerns are, but you have no say over my mood and those things. Next is take it as an opportunity to dig deeper. I One of the beautiful things that I heard in a moment when I was feeling very broken was you can either be broken or you can be broken open. And the difference being broken, you're just like, oh, sucks, can't do anything. Broken open is you're like ready to repair. You're ready to take that step and go somewhere with it. And so if you are sensing judgment from someone else, know that you are probably already judging yourself. And how can you bring compassion in and take that opportunity to learn more about yourself? And don't push it away, but dig in. Why do I feel that way? Whose voice is that? So that is what I'll leave you with today. This is my Etta. She's wonderful. Looks like she's got her swimsuit on.
Yes, I'm playing beats, but it's kind of tangled.
It is kind of tangled. Etta
That
is home from school today because she has a little bit of a sore throat. So we have a doctor's appointment this afternoon. She's
and
graduating from preschool tomorrow.
and
Hopefully.
how do I get this?
Untangled. I'll help you with that. I'm almost done. Okay. Have a good week and let me know below. And if you're feeling judged that you don't want to share with the group, totally cool. DM me or let's even call. Like I'm here for you guys. So have a good day. Bye.